Hey guys, Clumsy here. It's time to continue checking out the Road to the Baltic Sea DLC and now have a new toy, the Tobii Eye Tracker 4C. Let's go and check it out. So huge thanks to SCS and Tobii for sending me a Tobii Eye Tracker 4C. It's an eye tracker. It's quite different from what I'm used to, but it's actually a pretty fancy gadget. It allows you to look around and move your eyes, and the camera will adjust based on where you're looking. It even comes with some fancy software where you can actually show your viewers. I think that should work. You can see where I'm looking, right? Yeah, they see the fuzzy like white bubble that's moving around. That's where I'm looking exactly. And wherever I look, that's where the camera is going to move as well. Now that works in conjunction. There's also a bit of a head movement, a head tracker. So a head tracker and an eye tracker with this piece of hardware and software. So let's go and check them out together. And if you fancy getting one for yourself, go and check out the video description because the guys over at Tobii gave a 20% discount for anyone who wants to get this for yourselves. Perfect companion for trucking. Yeah, and we'll test it out because I'm not very used to it yet. I have been using a Track IR previously for the past few years, and it's quite different. The mechanics are quite different. Because here, the predominant movement of the camera will be based on the eye movement instead of the head movement. So there are pros and cons to each one. We'll go through each one in the video and let you decide for yourselves if this is something that is seeming like it's for you. Before that though, this is where I can use the eye tracking thing. Instead of using my mouse, I can actually just say, this is where I'm looking at, right? So we are starting off in Hunedoara. Let me hide my mouse. Let's use the eye tracker. Hopefully that's working. And you guys told me that in Brasov, there is a castle. I'm not sure which part it would be, but we'll look around there. But this is the trip we're going to. Hunedoara to Brasov. Yeah, there to there. Oh, that works. Yeah, fancy eye tracking stuff. And I told you guys that we will be taking this beautiful lug and stick logistic trailer. And so we are. Absolutely love this skin. This company is very punny. Alright, let's do it. Now you'll have to excuse my movements. They can be a bit on the jerky side still because there's a bit of transition needed when you're moving from Track IR to Tobii Eye Tracker. Because as I mentioned, they are quite different. They use quite different philosophies. In the end, they both aim to move the camera organically, but the movements are based on completely different things. With the Track IR, it's mainly based on your head movements. The Tobii Eye Tracker, as the name implies, tracks your eyes and your head as well, so both of them. And it's a bit tricky getting used to it in the beginning. It requires some there's a bit of a learning curve, but I'm starting to get used to it and I'm loving it because it's much easier to point things out to you. And it actually even comes with some fancy toys. Like when I'm streaming, this floating bubble, when I'm streaming on Twitch, you can decide for yourselves if you want it or not, if you want to display it or not. Because right now, when I'm recording this on YouTube, I can turn it on and off, right? But the decision is up to me. In Twitch, when I'm streaming with that fancy extension, you can decide for yourselves. Each viewer can turn it on and off for themselves. It gives more power, man. I love the bridges here. Let's take a photo of that one later. Keep your eyes peeled for any beautiful landmarks up ahead. Right now it all seems very industrial. I like the cracks on the road though. Very realistic looking. Thanks by the way guys for all the welcome. The well wishes, the welcome, the warm welcome from the past video. Happy to hear that, happy to see that you guys are still around and have been waiting. I have been looking forward to this day, getting back and recording for you guys. And yeah, I have been really excited because this eye tracker should have arrived like 2 weeks ago. But yeah, it had to be pushed back because of my emergency. But now it's here, and I am really enjoying it. In the beginning, I was a bit skeptical because the Track IR that I've been using for years has been really good. I have no complaints about it, except for the fact that I have to wear a cap. And I'm not a very cappy person. I don't wear caps on a normal basis. The only time I wear caps is when I'm trucking virtually. So it's not very organic for me, and at some point I get tired. My head gets squeezed. Yeah, so it's not very natural for me. Now with this eye tracker, there is no gadget necessary from a wearable point of view. So you just set up the camera. You make sure that you are in the right position, and you don't need to wear anything because the camera will track your eyes, track your head. There will be a calibration, and yeah, that's that. So you can basically truck, just look wherever, and the camera will move wherever you look. See where I'm looking at? Yeah, Patron. Is that Patron? We have Patron in Manila, in the Philippines. Looks very different though, might not be the one. But yeah, says I'm really starting to enjoy now, starting to get used to the eye tracker capabilities. Also the fancy stuff that it can do. Yeah, you can see exactly where I'm looking at. If I'm looking at the GPS right now, if I'm looking at my speed, yeah, stuff like that. So you get to see more. You're more involved in the happenings and in my thought process in exactly where I'm looking at. Now, admittedly, that has a downside, especially if you have multiple displays, because like for me, when I'm streaming, even right now, I have 2 monitors. So occasionally I would look to my right, to my second monitor, to take a look at the CPU and GPU utilization. Or if I'm streaming, I would look there on my upper right for the chat window, and you would see, because I'm looking at the upper right, also the display is looking to the upper right. The camera is moving there. So that might be a bit confusing, or a bit not ideal for everybody. But it's actually very realistic. Yeah, you see exactly where I'm looking at, and some people might actually like that more. So it depends. But I do love the freedom that this gives. It's a very fancy toy. So thanks again to SCS and Tobii for giving me this opportunity. I think this is my first ever product that came from my my content creation career. So this is a huge milestone for me. And they're not paying me for this, but they did give me the Tobii Eye Tracker for free, so that I can check it out. And then they asked me to give the link in the video description, so that anyone else who might be interested can get a copy and get 20% off. So that might be you. Check out the link. But they didn't force me to sell it or force it onto you. So you still decide for yourselves. I'm just going to showcase it to the best of my abilities, and you decide on your own, okay? Because we all deserve that choice. Let's see. Where do we go from here? Only way is to the right, okay? You can see I'm still a bit getting used to this. The head movement is admittedly not as good as the Track IR head movement, at least from my view, because I have a camera in front of my mouth because I'm speaking, and there's a bit of so if you imagine the camera in front of the monitor for Tobii Eye Tracker is seeing the microphone, yeah, in the middle of me, my head, and the camera, and so that is lessening the accuracy a bit. But I can still move my head, I can still move my eyes, and it can still see. right? That's still moving. It's not just as accurate as when you don't have a mic in front of you. So the accuracy will suffer a bit, but still good enough to capture your movements. But it's not bad actually, it's quite smart. And what I love about it is you don't have to wear anything at all. That didn't sound too good. Maybe wear something at least. Maybe at least wear some shorts. No, but you don't need to wear any paraphernalia whatsoever. And that is a very liberating experience. Targu Muresh. Muresh? I don't know how to read that. But I definitely love the variety of houses here. And because you can see where I'm looking at, I don't need to point it out to you, right? Look at that red house. That car. Also, let me know. Feedback, comments are more than welcome. If the bubble is too confusing, it's too misleading, or if you want it to be more visible, or you want it to disappear totally. So let me know in the comments. I'm sure we will get a few different opinions there. And that's what's so amazing when we are on Twitch live streaming this, because you can decide for yourself if you want the bubble, if you want to hide it, if you want to change the display. You have that power. Each viewer can have their own setting. In YouTube, you are limited to what I set, either on or off in this color and the transparency that I set up. So a bit more limited when we're in YouTube, but we still have something, so that's not bad. Also, one disadvantage of this one is it's very hard to look at the back. Like, you know how I do it usually when... Oh, look at that. You know what I do usually when we want to look to the left, where your driver is your head is peeking out of the window? I can't do that anymore. You can, I think, still do that, but you'll have to adjust the settings quite a bit. And I tried it. It doesn't feel too organic to me anymore. Like, you have to increase the sensitivity or stuff like that. Love that train. Only thing that's missing are sounds. But I'm sure Drive Safely, author of Sound Fixes mod, will add some train sounds to that one. So no problems there. But yeah, I can't look behind anymore. At least not organically. But in a way, that's actually good, because it forces me to use my mirrors and be very professional about this. I don't rely on peeking out the window. I actually am forced to make use of the windows I have, my side mirrors rather. And it's a very good practice, you know, not relying on your peeking out skills, but rather on your mirror estimation. When driving my car in real life, I seldom peek out. I usually just use my mirrors, so why should it be different with a truck? I don't know. But yeah, it's not that bad actually, once you get used to it. I love the freedom that this gives with the eyes. And the transparency. It's easier to point stuff out to you. You see when I'm focusing on a sign like that, or you see when I'm focusing on a speed limit sign. So I can point stuff to you out better. And there is more interaction between us, especially when I'm doing live streams. So I'm really looking forward to trying this out more and getting used to it too. See? It works. If I didn't look left there, that would have been a clumsy trucking situation right there and then. So it does work. Okay, let's have a look. Look at the signs. Bucuresti. We are going to the right, looks like. Okay, based on the GPS. Yeah, so if you are... and this works even if you're using a laptop. I think this is actually designed for laptops in mind. Because the manual, the very short quick start guide, has a laptop as an example of when installing the camera. This installs very well on the bottom of the screen, whether that's a traditional monitor or a laptop. And then there's an adhesive that is provided like a sticker with a magnet, so that the device can attach to that magnet. So you place the adhesive on your monitor, and then you place the camera on the magnet, and that attaches quite well. So you get that freedom of movement, not only when you're using a desktop, but also when you are mobile on the road, playing on your laptop. And that's a very, very powerful tool. And yeah, you don't need to wear any paraphernalia. Like with Track IR, I love the accuracy, but you will need to wear either a cap or a headphones for the clip, right? You either need a reflector on your cap or a clip which attaches on your headset, and you are limited in mobility. So it's a bit limited in terms of freedom of movement. Here, there is nothing attached to you. The camera does all the work, and from what I've seen and from what I've read, there is no impact to performance. The CPU load is minimal, even with all the eye movement action. Apparently, it's not as intensive. Oh, dang it! Okay, that was my fear. Getting caught speeding. And another one. I think it's the most consecutive speeding tickets I've gotten in my entire virtual trucking career. Right. Let's continue. I might make a silent trucking episode just to showcase more this Tobii Eye Tracker goodness without my voice being a distraction. But yeah, I'm starting to enjoy this. Initially, to be perfectly honest, I was a bit skeptic about it because I am so used to my Track IR, and I've seen many negative reviews of the Tobii Eye Tracker. But I figured out it's not really the problem. It's a problem if you use if you use both products the same exact way. If you're expecting the Tobii Eye Tracker to behave in the same way as the Track IR, then you will be disappointed, because the philosophy itself is different. It's not just head movements, it's mainly eye movements with head movements in addition. So they work in conjunction, and so it behaves quite differently, and you'll have to train yourself again. If you're coming from Track IR, you'll have to train yourself how to move your eyes predominantly versus your head. Or actually, it's very customizable. So if you choose, you can still choose to use your head predominantly, and actually even turn off the eye movements, the eye tracking. That is also an option. But for me personally, I like the eye movements. It's a different experience, but I like it. It's quite interesting, you know, and I'm starting to get used to it. One more thing that's cool, especially for those of you guys who are like me, who tend to go AFK a lot, away from keyboard a lot. Like if someone calls you or someone is on the door and you need to go out, you can easily just step out of your view and the game would automatically pause. It's one of those nice to have features. Let me show you that feature. So the controls are integrated into Truck Sim. You see this eye tracking thing here. If you configure that, I didn't really configure this at all. I just reset to defaults, and that was that. And it's working quite well. But you can fine-tune it definitely for the responsiveness, sensitivity, depending on your likes. I definitely still have to do that. But right now, I'm just leaving it as is, and we'll see as we go. Here, the auto pause mode presence. So as long as it's detecting your head, it will continue. But as if you move your head out of the picture, then it will auto pause the game. Or you can even make it a very sensitive one that you'll have to be looking at the screen. If you don't, then it will pause itself. Or you can choose not to have any auto pause at all. So let's try that out, yeah? Let's try that out. So for example, You have your keyboard away from you because you have your steering wheel and everything, and the pause key is not within reach. Someone calls you at the door. It automatically pauses when you move away, just like that, so that you don't end up in a clumsy trucking situation. It's actually quite smart. It's not like a critical feature, but it's a very nice to have feature. I like it, that attention to detail. Okay. Granted, I still have to get used to the movements. The range of visibility, the range of movement, I think is not as free as Track IR, or at least I have not set it up yet, because I've been using Track IR for years. I've been tweaking it for years to my personal taste, and the Tobii Eye Tracker, this new gadget, has been with me for only 2 days, so I still have a lot of tweaking to do. But yeah, so far, out of the box, just switching to default settings, given that I haven't done any calibration or not very fine-tuning yet, it's actually very good, working very nicely. So yes, let me know in the comments if you are liking this as well, if you're interested. I think it's worth around a very high-level ballpark figure would be 150 USD. But just click the link and you will get the exact price, and you'll get 20% off as a discount, as a special, the promotion here. So let me know if you're interested. I'd love to hear your thoughts about it. If you're a Track IR fan, let me know as well. But yeah, I've been reading through the forums about it, and I see a lot of haters for Tobii. That's why I was very skeptical as well, because they say it doesn't work. It basically doesn't do what they want. But I think it's a matter of calibrating and getting used to it. Because if I apply the same head movements I did with Track IR, it doesn't really work that well. But if I add in addition the eye movements, then that's when the magic happens. Because it is an eye tracker first and foremost, and the head tracking is just like an add-on, especially for truck sim. And yeah, all the bells and whistles, the eye tracking stuff that you can see floating on your screens right now, that's just icing on the cake. So if you're a streamer, then this might be something that might interest you as well. But yeah, we'll definitely test this out more. I'll calibrate this as we go, and hopefully we get to that magic spot where everything just feels organic and not confusing, especially for you guys. Yeah, I understand it might get a bit wobbly sometimes with the vision, the camera moving out and about, but we'll get there. So let me know what you think, and I suggest you keep an open mind. That's what I needed to do. Yeah, in the beginning when I opened it up, it was very easy to set up, very easy to install. I loaded it up, I tried it out, and I was like, what the heck is this? It doesn't work. It's pretty crappy. But rest for a bit, give it a chance, try it again. And if you're coming from Track IR, try to unlearn whatever head movements you've gotten used to with Track IR, because it works very differently. And once you get around that, then yeah, you'll be able to use it much better. I just glanced at my GPU load right there on the lower right side of the screen. Where are we anyway? I haven't seen the castle yet. 72 kilometers away and no castle in sight. I do see a lot of hairpins on the way though. Be very careful there. Yeah, you guys told me this is there's a castle nearby. Let's see. Nothing in sight at the moment, but I am liking the sights. Bucket of doom? No, garbage of doom right there. Slow down here. Oy, 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 oy. Almost an incident there. Good. Alright, keep going. So yes, I'll probably do one more video, but I'll make it more like a silent trucking. I'll remove the mic. I won't be speaking, and that will unlock the full potential of this eye tracker. So right now it's a bit handicapped with the mic in front of me. Like, I don't know, maybe it's only like 90% effective if you have a mic in front. But it still works, it's just not as good, not as accurate. But if this looks good, then it will look even better without the mic there. Because I have a Blue Yeti, and the Blue Yeti is a very... It's designed to be right next to your mouth. At least that's how my setup is. So it's not the best with the eye tracker by default. But even with that handicap, you can see the accuracy that this gives. So it's nice. And that bubble, I don't know if you guys find it confusing, but I kind of like it. Because I don't need to point things out to you. I remember a lot of instances where lots of exciting stuff happen on the road, like, I don't know, funky AI logic or disappearing cars or something weird, something cool. And it's so hard to point things out because I don't have a mouse pointer here, right? I can just say, there. But here, you can just exactly see. I'm looking at that sign, looking at that car. That church? Is that a church? Looks like it. That Renault. Did they improve the lighting? Oh, come on. Speeding all the way. It feels like they changed the lighting a bit. It's not as yellowish anymore. But maybe that's just me. What time is it anyway? 11 a.m. Yeah, that should work. Keep it at 50. Still no castle in sight. If you found the castle and I just missed it, let me know in the comments. I probably just missed it because I was babbling too hard. Okay, continue. Slow down here. Looks like a random event up ahead. I think we've basically negated all the income that we'll be getting from this job with all the tickets I've been getting. Let's chalk that up to adjustment with the eye tracker. So it's still fairly early in the episode. I think even after we deliver this, we can maybe look around the city, do a bit of sightseeing, and try to find that castle, because that would be a very nice screenshot. A very nice thumbnail. We'll see. But yes, if you are one of those people who are thinking whether you'll be getting a Tobii Eye Tracker 4C or a Track IR this Christmas, check out the link, check out this video, and let me know which you prefer. Did I just pass by my Brashov? That's the one. I think I just missed my turn, huh? That's fine. I did that intentionally. No, I didn't. We're just looking for the castle. There we go. Brashov discovered. No castle in sight. I'm not even sure if it's modeled in, because some people recommended it, but I don't really know if it's modeled in this game or it's just in real life. Anyway, let's go and gas up a bit. Let's go and ask around here. Maybe someone knows where that castle should be. And good thing that we stopped, because I didn't notice. We're almost out of fuel. What's that blue thing? That's probably just AdBlue. Okay, let's look out for a bit. Even here you should see where I'm looking at, right? That's the cool thing about it. So easy to point things out to you now. There we go. Actually, I can even, now that I think about it, I can even combine Track IR and Eye Tracker 4C. Eye Tracker for the pointing stuff out, and Track IR for the head movement. That can be a thing. I don't know, we'll see. One step at a time. Castle might be somewhere on the outskirts, maybe either here or here. I should have googled it beforehand, but let's deliver this. And then let's do a bit of sightseeing, or maybe sightseeing will wait till next episode. We'll see. But this is just mainly to showcase the Eye Tracker and the upcoming Baltic DLC. Also, one cool thing with the Eye Tracker that I noticed is its usage. So for like Track IR is amazing for simulators, but it's not much use anywhere else, right? The Eye Tracker is usable also for first-person shooters. There are like over 100 games supported, but in addition to that, you can even use it inside Windows. Like, you know, when you're pressing Alt-Tab and you have those different windows popping up that are open, and you would have to normally... Oh, is that the castle then? No. You would normally have to like press Alt-Tab multiple times to get to that window. If you have the Eye Tracker, you just press Alt-Tab once, you look at the window you want to activate, release Alt-Tab, and you have it. You go to that window. So it's it's not only for gaming, it's not only for simulation, works for shooters as well, and it also works for productivity. I believe you can also use it for logging in, like in Windows. Instead of typing in your password, I think you can just look at the camera and it will recognize you and it will unlock. So something like what we have on the phones nowadays. So yeah, they're really stepping it up, the usage. So that's some more benefits in addition to help you decide. Now this delivery, this seems familiar to me. I don't think this is a new prefab. I think I've seen this before. The one where we delivered to last time, that was new, definitely. This one I think this is from the Baltic DLC. Not sure. So yeah, let me know what you think. And I look forward to your comments. I got a new MacBook, by the way. More like an inheritance than anything else. But yeah, thanks to that MacBook, I can reply easier to your comments. Much easier than browsing through all the comments on my phone, at least. So, should be easier to reach me now. This is the example. I can't peek out. That's one of the limitations. I can either press 5. Yeah, that's a good workaround. Or, if I really want to do it pro, I just look at my mirrors. That's the way it should be done anyway. So, it's not a deal breaker. It's just something that we have to get used to. And we have zoom if we need to anyway. So, that shouldn't be that bad. Should work like so. Look at the other side. Still a bit fidgety with the view, but those are my eyes looking everywhere except where they should be looking at. I think that should work. Yeah, that should work. That's perfect. See, we can do that even without peeking out. It's good practice. Forces you to do best practices when reversing. There you go. Right. Perfect. Love it. So we got around, I don't know, 5,000 from penalties. We lost around 5,000, maybe less. We earned 8,000 though, so in the end we earned something. And that was a great experience, even if we did not see the castle. So let me know where we should go next, and point out to me where the castle should be, and we'll go there next episode, okay? Anyway, this DLC, Road to the Black Sea, should be released in 2 days time, December 5th. So stay tuned for that. I'll also give the link in the video description so you can get more details, right? Anyway, that's it for now. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a nice day. Don't forget to hit the like button, comment, subscribe, share, and all that stuff. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day. Clumsy Trucking. Catch you in the next episode. Bye.